Hey, everybody. Look at this. We are in the MLS Content Lounge. Yeah, we're very excited to be allowed in a professional space.
To actually be allowed in the official MLS Content Lounge, and it's not like we wrote it on a piece of cardboard in front of our apartment or our room here.
Stu doesn't know exactly where we
I'm
came
ready.
from.
No.
Where we came.
I'm prepared. I heard you guys just dominate the Don Garber press conference right there. So
We dominated the State of the Union, State of the League. That's what we do. We dominate.
it's the state of the Cooligans.
Yeah, the State of the Cooligans. Still at 0. If you want to know the State of the Cooligans, there's no TAM, there's no GAM.
Yeah. Well,
we got some jam sandwiches in the corner.
God.
So
there we
yeah.
go. But the estate of the Cooligans is definitely at 0.
Yeah,
anyway, so we're super excited to be here. Thank you so much, Stu Holden, everybody.
Stu Holden.
This is
huge for me in particular because I'm a massive Arsenal fan. That means nothing yet.
Yeah, no, yeah, I got beat by Arsenal.
Yeah, you did. Oh, I enjoyed watching it. But I got to say, you know how some Premier League fans have a second team? Watching you with Bolton, you became my second team.
Oh, man, I love that. Unfortunately, now it's a championship team, though.
Yeah, could have
That's because I got injured, right?
Yeah, it's only your fault, to be honest. You know, a lot of the fans actually mentioned that, like, oh, if Holden was still here.
Man, I
how
know.
does that feel to be, like, an American?
that's it. Just how does it feel to be?
How does it feel to be American?
America.
Yeah,
Pretty-
here in Canada.
Pretty damn cool, huh?
Imagine we just ended. Great
Thanks
interview.
a lot, guys. It feels great being American. I'm out of here.
Yeah, MLS Content Lounge. We'll be right back. No, how does it feel being someone who, when I was growing up, an American playing soccer? That's ridiculous. And you were able to go out there, and I think you scored the winner in the Lancashire Derby.
Lancashire Derby against Blackburn, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was Sam Allardyce, who was rumored to be the men's national team coach here. How did that feel to get a bunch of rowdy Englishmen to be rooting for you as opposed to
I blacked out, actually, after that goal.
Did you
so
really?
That's probably how I feel about the whole experience in general. But
Yeah.
no, I scored that goal and blacked out. Like, don't remember the celebration. For like the next 5-10 seconds was just pure euphoria. So
Yeah.
I watched back that highlight and I'm like, oh, that's how I celebrated that goal. Like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, the whole crowd goes crazy. I think just taken to an American, my style of play was leave it all on the field. Probably the reason I got hurt so much in the end. Because I didn't shy out of tackles. I was committed to every tackle, and the British respond to that, man. They cheer
do.
more for a good tackle, a guy that you track a run for 60 yards and you smash a guy in the corner. They're going to go crazy. As opposed to like an assist, they're like, okay, yeah, whatever, like nice goal. But smash a guy in the corner, you endear yourselves to those fans. And so I learned that pretty early, and so that's all that I did.
They're insane, too, those
Insane,
English
yeah,
fans.
but a great insane, though. Like the kind of insane we love.
Oh, yeah, no, the insane, that's the reason we watch and enjoy it.
But
sure.
is that something that you wish American fans would kind of adopt? That
Violence?
that love of like the bruiser.
I think
on
we need
the-
more hooliganism.
I think there's a mix, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I go to Portland, Seattle, different environments around Major League Soccer, and the beauty of our country is that they are all so different.
Yeah.
But different fan bases cheer in different ways. So 60-yard pass gets a round of applause in Seattle. In Houston, you get, okay, yeah, yellow cards in Houston. I love a yellow card, love a
Yeah.
good goal, love, different moments generate different fans. And we have different fan cultures all across. I think English fan cultures, for the most part, very similar. They love the hustle. They love the passion. They love the fight. They love, they can appreciate the nuances of the game, much as American fans can too. It's just they cheer in different ways, right? And so I think American fans, yeah, they respond to the old tackles every now and again, yeah. But I think everyone like the skill factor here too.
Yeah, you do that. You're a bruiser in Spain. They're like, buddy, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Relax.
take it easy.
Yeah, these are people's
Well, you get red
ankles.
carded in Spain within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Then
Did
they
that
play in
guy
the Champions
sneeze on
League.
Messi?
Yeah.
Red card,
Off.
get him out.
Get out of here.
Well,
Get out.
they protect their investments in La
Yeah,
Liga.
yeah, for sure. And they pay the referees. Anyway, La Liga, we all know. So you're one of the few players during that era to go from MLS to Europe. Talk a little bit about MLS, because you were at Sunderland for a little bit.
Yeah, briefly.
And
so,
then
yeah.
you came back to MLS because you had trained a bit when you were younger here. What was that like to play in MLS, and what was it like to go from MLS to Europe at that time? Did you find yourself being somewhat of a trailblazer?
Yeah, I mean, the MLS to me, when I played in this league, I was playing in my hometown, which was amazing, and playing in Houston in front of friends and
That's right, you're
family.
at Sugarland,
It was,
right?
Yeah, it was a new team. Because it just come from San Jose, so there's all this buzz and this excitement, and it was, for me, growing up a Houston kid, We have a pro soccer team in Texas, like in Houston.
Wait, so what you're saying is a team moved from one city to another, and that other city was
I know.
excited about it?
I actually made a comment the other day on Twitter about the whole Columbus thing. It was saying I can't see MLS going back to a market that they vacated because people were saying, are Columbus going to get another team if they lose one? And I was like, I can't see it. And they're like, you played for one that left, and then San Jose got another team.
You mean the one that didn't?
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. But this is now a different MLS, which it is.
Yeah, it is.
And the MLS I played in was incredibly instrumental in my development as a player. So I needed to play. I was at a point where, I needed a good environment. I needed to be tested. I needed a coach that believed in me. I was on a great team. We won 2 championships back to back. I learned how to compete. I learned how to fight. I used that platform to then go play in the Premier League, which is what I'd always wanted to do. I went there at 19. I was too young. I didn't get the experience. I had a couple injuries. And then you come back home, and it's like, hey, got to get this thing settled down a little bit and get yourself back on the right path. And that's what it was for me.
And now you are, especially the last few years, you've become, especially to me, you're becoming the voice of soccer, right?
Keep talking.
More and more, where the transition. I mean, a lot of athletes obviously go into broadcasting, but what was that for you? I know your career was it probably ended a little sooner than you wanted it to.
That's safe to say. Yeah.
It actually ended a couple times, right?
Yeah,
because you kept coming back, and which was
the killer blow was the ACL and the Gold Cup
tough.
final, where I was like, I felt back to my best, and I was playing, and we won the Gold Cup, and here you go, I'm going back to a great season next year, and then here we go again, and that was kind of the last one. Yeah,
but I'll at least say, I mean, now for broadcasting, you're doing you clearly take it very seriously, and you do it well. And there is, I'm just curious, what was the transition like? What's it like now, especially in this age now where you're doing more than just calling games, right?
Yeah, you're doing a bit of everything.
Social media, digital, everything.
Well, it's funny that I was talking about the Gold Cup final. I give my producer Shaw Brown at Fox, I give him crap all the time because I'm like, he called me or texted me maybe 10 hours after that injury and was like, hey, are you interested in doing TV? I was like, Shaw, I just tore my ACL. But yes, can we talk?
You hear a doctor go, could you get off the phone, Stu? You're about to go into surgery.
So, I was doing my rehab in LA. Shaw calls me. He said, I've talked to NBC. They want to have you do some MLS games while you're still coming back. And I said, all right, this is something I'm clearly interested in doing at some point. Teammates always used to say I was never shy of a camera, and if there was a camera around, I was going to find it. So I kind of knew I had a career much like this. So I'm like, hey, camera.
He found it.
Hey, camera, what's up? So, I did a couple MLS games. They went pretty well. I tried to come back one more time, went to Bolton, tore my ACL. It was pretty obvious to everybody, including me at that point, that my days were potentially numbered. I was still going to give it one more chance because that's what I did, and never wanted to give up. And then after that one, when I came back and tore my ACL again, I just said, I got to seriously start considering about what's next, right? So when I finally decided to retire, I'd done all the kind of work on the back to figure out where I was going to be. Ended up working with Fox, and I love it. I love it. It's a great job, right? I mean, travel around, get to call soccer games. I'm here at MLS Cup, just kind of hanging out, hanging with the Cooligans. Gonna do something later, go to dinner, get some drinks. I mean, what a life.
It's a great life, and you can't pull your ACL doing this. Look at me.
I do get those comments every now and again, and all you Twitter people that send me those tweets are so mean. When they're like, oh, great news, Stu's made it through another 90 minutes without getting hurt.
Not bad. It's a good
tweet. It's a good tweet.
It's support, it's sarcasm, it's tough.
It's okay. I embrace it.
You mentioned
reality.
Actually working for Fox. You do a lot of stuff with Rachel, and look, the fans have talked about it a million times. It's about time we ask. I mean, we know you work with Rachel. How annoying is she?
Oh, man.
How difficult is it to work with her?
Yeah.
Is she going to be watching this?
No.
and she got a new 2-year deal.
Yeah.
I know,
new
2-year deal. I mean, I got to get on her level, right? And, they told me that. They said, this part of your contract, we might stick you with Rachel Bennett. I had my agent going back and forth on that one for months. And I said, look, only one show a week, 1 hour, and I need to be out of that studio.
Wow.
You're not recording this,
No, definitely not. This isn't going in. We'll edit this out.
Off the record.
But she does. I mean, the two of you have a great rapport and a great banter. And what it seems to me, which is something that is, as a soccer fan, relatively new, it seems like these networks are wanting. It's not silly. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, show more of your personality.
Yeah, it's important.
Show, like, the fun side of soccer off the pitch.
I tell players now doing that, I mean, I'm on the other side, so I see it much more. I was like that as a player, though. I was very, I'm personality oriented. That was the way I was on a team. But I tell guys that I talk to, my ex-teammates, I say, look, you're every interview, every off-camera interview, any chance you get, people are watching. If you want to have a career in this business,
Get on the Cooligans.
but be
Yes,
yourself. And look, personality is a big part of that. You guys have a great rapport.
That's all we
together.
have.
You guys have a good rapport
Yeah.
together, but you're genuine. Like, be yourself first and
Yeah.
foremost. So
Yeah.
like people can see through the BS. And then, people can relate to that. So that's the first thing I learned in TV was, you have to take it seriously. You have to it's your job. So, you have to study. You have to do all the research to be able to sound good, to know what you're talking about. But at the same time, don't try and be anybody else. Be yourself,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Because people are going to relate to you for who you are.
And what is your? I'm always curious about your announcing style, right? Who are your guys or girls that you like relate to? You're like, I want to be like that person. And also, I'm curious.
Besides us, obviously.
How is John Strong's voice after Michael Bradley's goal in
When
the
he's like,
Azteca?
in Azteca, it's kind of like my voice right now. I've got this like cold weather thing going on. Oh, I mean, look, that call, nobody expected that coming.
No,
right? I mean,
nobody.
So John and I are there. Michael Bradley steps into the hole. He picks the pass off, and then he shoots. And you're watching this ball sail up over, and John's, oh, Michael Bradley!
Yeah,
I was like, keep going, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta,
Puberty's coming, buddy.
but in many ways, right? Like as a play-by-play guy, and as an analyst too. Those are the moments that like make highlight reels and that you hear played
They
back.
define
and back.
you.
So you want to, you want to
Yeah.
get those ones right. In many ways, like John after the game was like, oh yeah. I said that call is amazing because it captures the genuine emotion that
Yeah.
everybody is feeling in that, right?
Yeah,
Because
to-
it was unexpected. It was this huge goal, and your voice erupts, and you're just so caught off guard. I was like, that is amazing to
It's
me.
like
I
that
loved it.
childlike
Yeah,
passion
yeah.
and
exuberance.
childlike voice. Also, unfortunately.
To me, I mean, it's on par. Maybe not the exact moment, but the call of like Ian Dark.
Well, that one made Ian Dark, essentially, right? I mean, he's an incredible broadcaster.
Yeah.
He'd had a great history before that. But when I say it made him, it was like his defining moment with U.S. soccer fans,
Yeah.
and where he kind of became the voice, right? And,
Sure.
Howard out to Donovan, and
Yeah.
like the whole thing, and go USA, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It-
that just came to him, and he just,
That's
it's just
great.
like one of those things. It makes a great broadcaster.
It's the soccer version of Down Goes Frazier for Americans.
Yeah.
It really is.
Go USA, baby.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Yeah, of course.
Go for it.
So you're doing a lot more stuff on TV. You talk about how you take this serious, you practice, you prepare yourself. What is the end goal for you? Like obviously when you play
Yeah, it's a
soccer, your
good
end goal is
question.
like Champions League or World Cup. What is it for this? And of course, our agents want to know.
Yeah, it's a fan that we're doing a triple deck.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Oh, Cooligans third mic.
I mean, I got into this and just said, I want to be the best at everything I do. So, take it seriously, be a good broadcaster, work your way up. I've had an incredible amount of, people behind me at Fox that have given me an incredible amount of opportunities. So to where the future is there, I mean, I'm hoping to be a part of the World Cup roster next year in Russia, doing a World Cup 2 years into being a broadcaster.
That'd be awesome.
That's a big, bucket list check off the boxes. And then beyond that, I think ultimately I want to do more stuff within TV. So, Michael Strahan is one that comes to mind of like, you want to see me on Today's Show? Let's go.
Sure, yeah.
But,
I mean,
I don't know.
You just need a nice gap.
Sky's the limit, man. But right now, I'm purely focused on being the best soccer broadcaster. I want to be the voice of soccer, right? When Americans turn on the TV and watch the U.S. national team, I want to hear what Stu has to say.
I mean, if you just like get a gap in your teeth, and you will be the future
There,
of.
knock one out for you.
yeah.
This one's a veneer. I got knocked out by
And
my
then-
brother when I was a kid.
And also tell Kelly Ripa you'll be there at a certain time and just never
Me and
show up.
Seacrest. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're the new Seacrest. You played soccer at very high levels here in America, very high levels in England. Now that you're not a member of MLS, you're a member of Fox, you can maybe talk a bit more openly. A lot of very big positive changes have happened. I think everyone is looking at Atlanta and going, whoa.
Yeah.
Soccer, we've thought soccer's made it. There's more and more evidence that it's making it. And then the World Cup happens and we don't qualify, right? So there's a lot of questions about what's missing. A lot of players have been very soft around that subject. A lot of fans have been very strongly, worded. Us too. We've had all these prognosticators like, oh, this needs to change, that needs to change. What do you, if you could make like 1, 2, maybe 3 changes max right now, you could just snap your fingers and it happens.
Man.
What do you think you would do? And it could be small changes, but what do you think would do that would have a positive effect on the American soccer landscape or soccer in America?
I'd make it more American. And look, MLS it's our league. It's an American league. We have the TAM, we have GAM, we have DPs. No other leagues around the world have that. I would insert a rule that means you have to have a requirement of a certain number of American players on the field at a certain time.
Okay.
So whether that's younger players, because the league is growing. The league is growing at an incredible rate. New franchises, more players, more investment in players. You can't knock MLS on that.
Not at all.
I just feel the investment, when you look at it in the way that GAM and TAM are structured, it's to benefit the foreign player, right? So Atlanta United go out and they bring in Almiron, they bring in Josef Martinez, guys that are amazing. They've been so great for the league. But I feel that ultimately hurts the development of the American younger player. So if we can still invest and still have more American players getting valuable playing time, it's the only way as a player to get better is to play more games and to play games at a higher level. So you play in USL, you play NASL, you play in your academy, you're always going to hit a point where if you're the best player, you're going to peak, right? And you got to get to that next step.
Right.
That next step is MLS, and you got to start playing in those games consistently. Tyler Adams this year, perfect example.
Incredible.
Everyone talks about.
Oh my God.
But he worked he's a perfect guy who's worked his way up all through the system, gets to the first team. He's one of the New York Red Bulls' best players this season.
For sure.
And now people are talking about him going to Europe. So that's what I would do if I was in charge, and I'd make it more American again.
Could I boomerang that back to you and say that having those players like Josef Martinez, Almiron, and some of these other guys is creating a higher level of competition for the American players, and thus that will make them better? Because a lot of fans have said that in contrast to the making some type of quota.
No, it does. It absolutely does. I think the more better players we can have in the league, the better. But the problem you have is if those guys are better than a 18, 19-year-old emerging American striker, someone like Andrew Carlton at Atlanta, who's saw maybe 2 games this season, is he ready yet? Maybe not. But does he need some games and some more opportunities? Yes. And if there's a rule in place where maybe that guy has to get a certain number of games or to be on the field, I think that improves the American player as well as, the level being better, absolutely. But I think you still get the coaches are under pressure to win.
Yeah, for sure.
So, as much as an owner might say, hey, you know what, let's breed some younger players through. Let's give some younger players a chance. Well, you lose your first 5 games of the season, they're going to say, see you later, buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it does, we've had this conversation with a couple guests on the show where it does beg the question, what responsibility does Major League Soccer have to U.S. soccer? And some people are of the mindset of, like, they should be 2 separate things, sort of like Premier League and the FA.
You do you, we'll do us. Yeah.
And then I feel like that's sort of what you're saying, that there should be a little bit of cohesion and
there should be a marrying of the two.
Yeah.
We're not the English FA either. And England haven't had a successful national team in a while, even though the youth programs are doing well right now. They have arguably the best league in the world as far as entertainment perspective goes, TV rights. If soccer in England has been around for hundreds of years. In the United States, our league is only 20-plus years old, so it's still growing. So the marrying of that and the federation doing well, then all of a sudden you don't qualify for a World Cup, it forces you to take a step back, and you have to look at these things, I think, from a bigger picture. Is there a perfect answer? Do I have the answer right now? Absolutely not. But we need to make those little steps to try and grow together. I think.
The conversation alone is helping.
At the very least, the two MLS and US Soccer need couples therapy.
Yes.
We don't need to get divorced.
It's not divorce. Don't leave the kids behind. We just need to sit down and talk.
About how we go
I
forward.
could use one of those at Thanksgiving. Speaking of soccer in Europe, a lot more Americans are getting started in Europe at a younger age. You were one of the first that I recall. I'm sure there were others that I recall just people talking about with such admiration as an American player. And then immediately after you, the next one I remember is Jeff Cameron. What do you think? Do you think that the tone of how, especially British fans speak about American players used to be like knocking us as if I was a player, knocking Americans. But do you think that's changing, or what do you think is going to help? Is it more of our youth players going out there? Do you think it's more established stars like you were going out there? What do you think might change the perception?
I think it's just performing well, and I might not have been afforded the same opportunity if Carlos Bocanegra and Brian McBride and Clint Dempsey, Claudio Reyna, Casey Keller, Brad Friedel. I mean, go down the list. John Harkes, the first one to play for Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, those guys performing well gives you more credibility in the space, right? It's natural. And then performance of the U.S. national team, and then more Americans doing well in Germany and in England. All those things together, I think, makes people open to looking at places like MLS for maybe the next player that they can find that's not going to be as expensive as buying a guy from France or from Germany or Italy, right?
Right.
All right. I want to move to a lighter subject because it can get very serious very quickly. But I did want to ask, you have I don't know, I think it's fairly new, but you have a new podcast with Steve Nash.
I do, yeah. Two Dads United.
Two Dads United.
Two Dads United.
So I know I've seen a couple clips online, but what was the thought process behind it, behind starting it? How do you know Steve Nash? That's also another one.
Through soccer. I mean, Steve's a massive soccer fan.
Huge soccer fan.
We became really close just living in LA and having the same interests and personalities, I would say.
Yeah.
And we're two dads. He's 4 kids. He's got the youngest now, who's I think 5 or 6 months, and we just kind of trivial our lives with being avid soccer fans. We play twice a week in a pickup game. We text about games. We're part owners together in Real Mallorca in Spain.
Okay.
And we just have such a passion for the game that we said, hey, why not? Let's do a podcast. Let's talk and let's put it out there. Let's see if anybody listens or watches, first of all. And a few people have, so at least we have 4 or 5 viewers. And it's going well. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You get 2 more than you guys have.
Yeah, there you go. It's not bad. Maybe we'll bring some of those over here with this.
All right, cool. Well, Stu, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it's seriously.
Oh, wait, I got one more question.
Oh, okay.
What was it like being a professional gamer?
Amazing.
Yeah, was it?
Nerdy.
Did you know that he was a professional gamer before
I
a
was
soccer
a
player?
big nerd, big counters.
It's not nerdy now.
No, I know, it's cool.
Filling stadiums.
Yeah, massive. I was before my time. I was a Counter-Strike player, professional. I used to win a couple tournaments. Yeah.
Not bad.
And so now I still watch. I look at it online. I'm like, this is crazy. These guys are filling stadiums.
They legitimately
esports
fill out
leagues
stadiums.
are making 6 figures.
Yeah.
It's maybe
ESPN just signed, I think, an esports league.
Really?
It's
I gotta
crazy.
pull dust off my keyboard.
Get back in there, buddy.
First-person shooters were always the thing I was the worst at. I could play a lot of games. I worked at a GameStop, everybody. So not to brag. I mean, Bolton this, Bolton that. I worked at a GameStop in Brooklyn.
Hey, but I'm dusting the boots off now. I'm playing next week, kicking for Houston.
Okay.
You guys seen?
Oh, that
charity soccer game?
Yeah, we tried to get in contact with you. We're more than happy to host it if you want.
Oh man, we're doing the whole TV thing. Fernando Fiore's taking the game.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
he seems like he's got a better resume. All right. Well, our 5 fans will write in, and hopefully that changes things. Dude, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Where can people follow you? Where can people find you? Where can
At
people hear your
Stu Holden
podcast?
on all that stuff, and at 2 Dads United, 2 Dads UNITED.
And the
I
number
can still
2?
spell. At the number 2, yeah.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Stu Holden, thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it, guys. Thanks for the time.
Cheers, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Thank you, guys.